Melissa Jakes, the Olivia Pope of virtual and live events, is the CEO and founder of Rescue Event Planning, a Washington, D.C. based boutique event planning firm to influencers, organizations, and corporations. During this pandemic, Melissa's expertise in online event planning has become a hot commodity. Her company also provides several courses on topics related to event planning.
Hey, how are you guys doing? My video just stopped playing all of a sudden. What happened? So we're going to play that back again.
Melissa Jakes, the Olivia Pope of virtual and live events, is the CEO and founder of Rescue Event Planning, a Washington, D.C. based boutique event planning firm to influencers, organizations, and corporations. During this pandemic, Melissa's expertise in online event planning has become a hot commodity. Her company also provides several courses on topics related to event planning and entrepreneurship. She gives mommypreneurs the tools and services to balance career, business ownership, and management with family. Melissa has spoken at several events such as Facebook Boost and conducted workshops at universities and small businesses. She has been featured in several publications such as Event Planner Association Podcast, Rent My Wedding Magazine, Morgan State University, iHeartRadio, CEO Blog Nation, BET Influencer, and Event Planner Expo 2020. She provides entrepreneurs with special tools to combat what she calls FWD, fear, worry, and doubt obstacles, in order to break through and become successful owners. Mommypreneurs, let's welcome Melissa Jakes.
Hey guys, happy Thursday. I hope your Thursday is going well. I know it's been a crazy week, and yesterday was crazy, right? So it's just definitely have to make sure we talk about that because that's so important to me. So if you guys have never been on this channel before, my name is Melissa Jakes. I am CEO and founder of Rescue Event Planning, also known as the Olivia Pope. Let me do it this way. Olivia Pope of Live Events. It's hard to go backwards. Olivia Pope of Live Events, and now virtual. And so today we're talking about how to host your women's conference in 2021. We're still in a pandemic, right? Here in the United States, if you're watching abroad, I'm pretty sure you're still dealing with it, but it may not be as bad as the United States right now. That we're still hosting our events. We're still being visible how to do that, right? And so we're going to go about 30 minutes in, talking about the different things, the different steps that you need to host your women's conference in 2021, virtual style, okay? So I am going to share my screen so we have our slides and get right into it. Okay. Yep, you can see good. All right, and let me go into it to present. Can I present it in that presenter view? Got it. Okay, perfect. All right, so let's start. Let me get back to the screen. Perfect. Okay. So we're here on how to host your women's conference in 2021. So a little bit about me. I know we had our intro, but a little bit about me is Rescue Event Planning has, it's almost 6 in February. February 4th will be 6 years old. And we start off this journey with doing weddings and doing baby showers. And we soon grew very fast in year 2 of hosting about 16 to 20 events, from going from like 3 to 4 from the first year to the second year. And in the second year, we learned that we love to host women's conference, because we actually did. We held our first women's conference where we were hired to in New Jersey. And it was the client, she was coming out with her annual conference that was going to always happen each year. And so it was called the Beacon by Sade Y. Adu. If you follow her, you guys might be familiar with that. So with that event, it's her signature event that she'll always do. When you think of that, you think of her, and it's brand alignment, right? And so in Women's Conference, we really understand that entrepreneurs, small businesses, authors, coach, to be visible, you need to host events and being able to see events and participate in events and do it all, right? And so that's what we really loved and understood, that we want to help entrepreneurs do exactly what we did for Sade. Provide you guys a platform of your signature event that when they think of that, they think of who it is and they know what all comes with it. An amazing time. I must be in the room. Got to get my ticket early. Don't wait till the last minute. Those type of things. That's the type of energy you want to have when you start thinking about your event. So we learned that quickly in year 2. And from then, year 3, we did about 20 to 25. Year 4, anywhere between 25 to 30 events. And now in year 5, we were on the trend of at least like 40 events. Then COVID happened, but we had virtual events that took place to kind of sub that, right? So we've been growing, and we've had interns. We have an intern now from Stevenson University, and we have admins on the team. We have event staff. And so we're super excited on the growth that we've had for Rescue. And so with me, I am a mom of 2. I actually gave birth during the pandemic. And I was also the person that is the go-to. When you think of Melissa, think of like, she knows it. She got it all, right? So, that is definitely, oh, that's too small. Make it big for you guys. Let me actually make it bigger so you guys can see it. So that is exactly how I kind of got into this thing. I have my background was in social work. I have my master's in social work. But as I was growing and developing in my life, I was always still doing events. And so my husband pushed me out the door and said, why don't you start your business? Do it. And I said, okay, I'm going to try. And my fear, a silly little fear, my fear was like, what if the bride doesn't like the color scheme that I pick? Or what if I don't like the color scheme that she picked and have to tell her it's ugly? What type of stupid fear is that, right? So clearly, I don't have to worry about that problem because we're now almost 6 years in and have been profitable in our business, 6 figures plus in the event planning space. So that's just a little bit about me. 2 kids, a 6-year-old and now a 6-month-old, a husband, and lots of the family stuff. So you're here to know, like, how am I supposed to host this women's conference? So in the comments, if you are watching live, and if you're watching the replay, it's totally fine. I want you guys to put in there saying why you're hosting your women's conference. Are you thinking about it? Are you someone that's like, I had it already planned for 2021, but COVID kind of, set us back, so we're not sure what we're doing. So I want you to put in the comments so I can kind of see what's going on in the room on why you're trying to host your women's conference in 2021. Okay. So when we think about the why, it helps you really understand what is going on. Like, are you trying to launch a service? Are you trying to launch a product? Are you trying to launch a course? Or is this more for exposure? Or is it something that it was really called to you to say, like, I need to host this event? But you need to kind of have that why. Why do this event? There's a lot of reasons why clients come to me to say why they do an event. For example, a young lady, she owns a CRM that also does landing page and gets testimonials right onto your website. She's a one-stop shop for more of that, making sure you have repeated clients, you get your testimonials right there, you have a CRM so you can collect emails, and you can do landing pages, and you can also host courses on her platform. So she's never done events before. And so she's like, well, why would I do an event? I just kind of pitch clients. So when I told her hosting your event will show them exactly what your platform does. And people who want to understand how to be more profitable in their business will need to know I need to have a system like yours to be more profitable in my business because you do it all. I can host my courses there. I can host my she can't host events there yet, but I can host my courses there. I can get my testimonials right there. It reminds them to submit the testimonial and it pops up on my website. What does that do? That saves your client's time. And so her purpose of her why is she wants people to know more about her platform that she offers small businesses to be able to scale to from 2 to 5 years to grow into the 10 and be profitable in their business and have repeat clientele, right? So um, that's her why. So you need to figure out what is your why, what is your purpose, because then that will then speak to the rest of it. Once you find that out, then you need to start doing your pre-meetings, right? Pre-meetings are so important. Make sure you're meeting with your team. If you are solo, you're like, Melissa, I am doing this on my own. That's okay. You need to have a meeting with yourself. Set it on the calendar, get your notebook out, and make sure you have your meeting together. But eventually, I will tell you, you need to have someone else on that meeting with you because you can't do it all by yourself. So you need to make sure you have a team, someone that's going to help and promote your event for you. Maybe that's your girlfriend. She's always there for you, ride or die. Good. Maybe that's your church prayer group. Hey, can you send this out to your folks? Tell them I'm having this event. It's a women's conference. This is what's about to level up for next year. Get them on board. But you need to have someone a part of that, right? Because you could do the event by yourself virtually, but you're going to spend majority of your time doing it. So if you have a 9 to 5, if you have other things going on in your business, you won't be doing anything else but this. So most likely that's not true. So you want to make sure you have a team. And pre-meetings are important. Make sure you have an agenda when you go into that meeting. Make sure you're having your timeline. You're talking about run of shows. That is your agenda. How is the show going to run? It's going to talk about what do you need? What do you need? I need speakers. I need, maybe I want to have vendors. I'm going to have a digital swag bag. Or I'm going to have, I may want to deliver food for the guests or virtual, but I still want them to eat. So put all your wants. What do you need? What do you need to have? What do you need to have to make this happen? In your pre-meetings, that will set you up. Then you need to decide, once you figure that all out, then you have a clear understanding what platforms can I use for this event? So I have a couple of here. We have YouTube, of course, we're on YouTube. You could do this straight live onto YouTube, depending, again, what type of conference you're going to have and what is your want. Are you going to have one stages? One stage, two stage, three stage. What does that mean, Melissa? So one stage means this. I'm sending you to one place to get the content. Or two stages mean I may have a main stage, but then I'm going to have a sub stage or sub stages where now you in Zoom, they will call it breakout rooms, right? So in this topic, we're going to talk about how to boss up in the marketing space. And the other room I'd be talking about how to boss up with the candle shop, whatever. That's two different tracks. And so we're going to have that happen at the same time. So that's your second stage. But my main stage is where like my keynote speakers might be. So once you decide how many stages you're going to have, how many things you're going to have run concurrently, that means then you can understand what platform you need. So let me break down the platforms. We have YouTube, which you guys are watching from. Then we have StreamYard, which I'm using, but you may not know I'm using this. So StreamYard allows you to stream to multiple platforms. So I could stream this to YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. I wish it could do Instagram, but not yet. Facebook groups, a Facebook profile, multiple Facebook profiles, Twitch, if you're a Twitch person. And I think Periscope is still on there, but I can't even believe Periscope is still around. Anyways, you can stream to multiple platforms, right? But again, there's still one stage. So you want to make sure you understand that. You can use StreamYard for Facebook, or you can just go live on Facebook. Maybe you're going to do a Facebook event. And you can do rooms in Facebook, right? So you can have your main stage and do the rooms off that way. Of course, Zoom. Maybe it's more private event. You don't want it to be streaming to multiple things. You want to see people's faces. And so that is some of the downfalls that with YouTube, Facebook, StreamYard, you're not able to see all your attendees' faces. So it doesn't allow you to do that. But like with StreamYard, I'm able to bring up to 10 people onto this platform, and we can all have a conversation like a panel style here, right? Then ViewStub. ViewStub is kind of almost like a StreamYard-ish, but they have their own platform where you're able to, in a sense, have a landing page. It's like an Eventbrite with all of the events happening virtually on that platform, though. So you can't stream out, but you're on that platform. Ustream is like a StreamYard. It can stream to different places. Hopin. So you guys might have heard of Hopin. And as I was going into StreamYard today, I have to look back on it, but it looks like StreamYard and Hopin has done some type of marriage. So I have to look into see what just happened there. But usually Hopin, what it is it allows you to have a vendor space. So your vendors can have booths. And let me tell you about this. So in the booth, right, as if, like, let's say we're in person, you will walk up to someone's booth. Hey, you sell candles. I want to learn more about candles, right? So in this booth, you would select on Candle Pro. And in Candle Pro, I will be already in the booth live with my camera. And I'll say, hi, Melissa. Hey, welcome to Candle Pro. Let me know what you want to know more about Candle Pro. And multiple people can come into the booth at times. So we'll see all of us pop up on the screen in the booth. You can leave the booth and come back in. So for some vendors, and depending how you want to set it up for your vendors, the vendors could either be live in their booth, or they can be have a pre-recorded video. So when you go into the booth, this video pops up. Welcome to Candle Pro, blah, blah, blah. We're so excited you're here. Click the link below. You'll see you can schedule an appointment with me and how to smell the candles virtually. Blah, blah, blah. Right? So you have the options of that. I like it to be live because it's more engaging. You get your audience to really feel like they're a part of it, and your vendors will love it because then they feel like they're almost there because they're vending, right? So along with that, Hopin also has a networking opportunity. So you want people to network, connect with each other, engage, all of that stuff. There's actually a networking opportunity where you're able to go and do it two ways. I can schedule because I can see the whole list of attendees. So I can ping them and say, I want to network with you. And it will pull up our screen together. Or you can do it where it is, what do they call it? Like speed dating. It will say, want to network? Okay, get ready. And you press yes. And whoever pops up. And it's kind of like a speed dating thing. So you have that option. You do have the option to Hopin to have multiple stages. So again, you have your main stage, and then you have your breakout rooms. And you can run as many concurrently at one time, different things. What I do like about it, it does give you a landing page to see all the speakers. The speakers can put their website, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn information all in there. You can click it. It'll take it right to their profiles. There's small little bios there as well. And then you are able to see the full schedule. Then you're able to chat with the whole, you're able to see who's on live, like live right there, active, and who's not in Hopin. So it does give you the option of that. The other engagement option it does give you is that you're able to, as you're live, if someone wants to ask a question, you're able to say, just raise your hand and you can ask your question, and it can actually pull them in live to ask their question on stage. And then you can send them back to audience. So that is definitely a cool thing that can be done in Hopin that kind of gives you similar to Zoom with all the Zoom squares, but at least you're not seeing everyone. For the person who really wants to ask a question, they can come on stage and ask a question. Hey Summit is similar to that. And Webinar Ninja is another streaming source as well. So these are all the different platforms. Again, to say, well, Melissa, which one should I use the best? I will ask you, what are you trying to do? Because that really depends on the platform you use. With all of these, you do need to have some technical stuff. Again, you could not do events by yourself. You might have the thought and the idea. You might map it out. You might do your run a show by yourself. But eventually, you're going to have to get someone who understands it, someone who knows the platform, so that they can help you with it. Because there is a lot of technical stuff, especially with Hopin building the vendor booths. If you have like 30 vendors, that's a lot of booths, and you have to build it out, right? So that's definitely something to make sure you're working on as you're going through your women's conference. Who's on your team that's going to be able to handle that? Content is everything. I call it the Holy Ghost feeling. We have the Holy Ghost feeling when we finish an event or we finish a conference and we go to the conference. You were attendee. You've been there. Oh my gosh, I am renewed. I know what I'm doing in my business. This was amazing. And you go home and you don't implement nothing. Not one thing do you implement, but it was a Holy Ghost feeling. I felt great, right? So that's awesome. I love having people feel that way. However, I love to see people actually implement better than feeling that way, because then I know the money they spend on the conference is actually worth it. And there's nothing wrong with feeling that way, but I just don't want people to get caught up with the feeling and not think about the content and the implementation. So content is everything. Getting people in the room is going to be content. You can have a catchy title, but you need to make sure you have really good content. So make sure you're having good content. That leads to the next point where it says build a dream team, speakers. So your speakers bring the content, or your panelists, however you're going to have it. And you want to make sure that they are strong. You don't want to have too many. You can have some up and coming speakers, but you need someone who's definitely going to be that draw. And actually, all of them should be that draw. But you want to make sure the content is so hot that the speaker may be a little bit lackluster, but the content was good. And so you want to make sure that happens. Like, quick example could be to say, like, Melissa, I'm not sure what you're talking about. Great. So let's say we're selling lip balm, right? And so the conference might be how to prevent your lips from being chapped. I don't know. Chapped lips, you need to be here, right? And so, okay, we're going to talk about how to exfoliate your lips, the importance of exfoliating your lips, how to bring the moisture back in, what you should put on underneath your lipstick. Should you use lip liner? What type of lip liner? Like, once you're breaking down, we're going to teach you how to exfoliate, rejuvenate your lips, get moisture back in, how to make your lipstick pop. And at the end of the conference, you're going to know how to have the best lips like Beyonce, whatever, right? But as you're breaking the content down and you're explaining it, wow, what? I'm going to learn how to do that, and that. So I'm going to be set. I'm going to know how to do my lips by the end of this thing, right? So that's how you want the content to feel. That by the end of your women's conference, whatever the goal is, I'm set. If I was coming in to say, I need to learn how to do social media better, and I walked away with that, I could walk away with the plan, go home, and say, boom, I'm implementing. That's how you want your content to be. So really spend time on it. When I help people develop content, or even some of them may come with content, I said, that's great, but why do you need to talk about that? What's the purpose of it? Bounce your ideas off of other like-minded people who would definitely give you great advice. Not people who are hater on it, or people who don't understand entrepreneurship either, too, right? Sometimes you gotta find your biz bestie with that, right? So make sure you really bounce ideas off of people so that you have a better understanding. Then one of the most important things, you can have all of this stuff. I got my platform, Melissa. I got my content. My pre-meetings are set. I'm good to go. Marketing. Make sure you have great marketing. If you do not know how to market, please invest in someone who does. There are, I have two people part of my team that does marketing plans for my clients. We run it through, we talk it through. How is the sales funnel going to be to get people into the event? And then also at the event, if I am offering, again, we talked about this before in the pre meeting, or actually on the why, what is going to be my call to action at the end of this? So I want a sales funnel for getting them in, and I want a sales funnel for when they're in, getting them to the next thing, right? So make sure you are marketing. Different ways to market. You can do Facebook ads, but again, make sure someone knows how to do Facebook ads, because you just don't pay some money and do it. There's strategies behind it. There's Instagram, there's LinkedIn. People sleep on LinkedIn. Definitely hit up LinkedIn. And then there's also, because we're in the virtual space, so it's not like you go to your church and pass out your flyers and all that. But there are, especially if your women's conference is kind of faith-based, hello, there's thousands of churches now online. Get onto their announcements. Send them like, hey, can you add this to your announcements? I would love for people to attend. This is great for your woman. Find the woman leader, the women's ministry leader, and get have her sell it to her group or whatnot. And you never know. I've had churches, for actually one of my other clients, I've had a church buy 10 tickets for their woman, because they want to make sure they're getting the training they need. Just because virtually is happening for church does not mean that the work for the church stops. They still got to do stuff, right? So definitely the people who your target audience you're reaching, tap into all of these people, because it's so important too. Flyers. Make sure your flyer is hot. So I do a training about Canva. People sleep on Canva. I love Canva. But there are sometimes I do outsource for other things if I needed to be just a little bit more than just a Canva, right? And there's ways to make your flyer look like it was not done in Canva. So it's just spending the time or investing and pay for someone to do your flyer, and make sure it stays along your brand. Okay, so those are definitely some things that have to make sure to how to host your women's conference in 2021. It is to definitely, one, think about why this event. Pre-meetings are a must. Your platforms, from knowing those two things, what are your platform is going to be, because you need to know how many stages you're going to have, if you're streaming it, all that stuff. Check into the different platforms. There are some other platforms that came out after I kind of made this. Wonder is one, and Reach Live is another. So there are platforms popping up all over the place right now. Because people have time to develop it, and it's a need, and people want something different. So definitely check them out, Wonder and Reach Live. Make sure your content has to be hot fire. Building the dream team, the speakers, the panelists. Make sure you have your dream team there ready to roll. Marketing is a must. You can't get around that. You can, have your family send it off and all that stuff. At the end of the day, you must have good marketing and develop a marketing plan, your sales funnel from getting them into the event, your sales funnel to get them to the next thing, your call to action. Flyers are a must for sure. We're virtually. We need to know how to get there, right? So make sure you have your flyers set up. You can do something on Canva. You can outsource and pay for someone. What is it called? Fiverr's one. Upwork is another, where if you don't know someone, then you can go to those platforms to get in. Okay. So that is a quick down and dirty on how to host your women's conference in 2021. And I've given a lot of great tips there. But I want to stay connected with you guys. And so I will be hosting a masterclass on January 28th. at 6 p.m. And that will be most likely a Zoom, because I want to see everyone's face and be able to people ask questions versus it being on YouTube or whatnot. So definitely send me an email if you're interested on that. And the master class is called How to Host Your Virtual Event in 12 Weeks or Less. So in 12 weeks or less, we will tell you how to host your virtual event and giving you more. We're going to go more in depth of platforms, strategic planning on how to do that. And the masterclass is going to be an hour long, and then we'll take questions. So it's going to almost be like 90 minutes with myself and the team on how to host your virtual event in 12 weeks or less. Okay, so if that is something that you guys are interested in, I am going to put my email in the chat box that we have here, so that you guys can email us and get more information on that. And I do have your email too, so we'll send it out. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. Let me stop sharing. I hope this was helpful, you guys, in hoping that your women's conference, as you guys are planning your women's conference, that you took something away from this to realize, one, I'm on the right track, or two, I really wasn't on the right track, so let me try to work it out. So I hope this was totally helpful for you guys. Next week, I am hosting another quick 30-minute webinar. And let me see what that is going to be called. It's all surrounding events. How to sell out a virtual conference. So that we're going to talk about one of my favorite things. It's how to be profitable, how to make that thing grow, how to walk away with $5,000 at the end of your virtual conference. So definitely look for that. I'll be putting on Eventbrite tonight, and then we'll post it out on social media, and we have your email, so we'll email you as well. So thank you so much for attending. I hope you guys have a great evening. Be safe, and we'll see you guys later. Bye.